Hello, today we are going to be taking a look at all of the legends in the game Apex Legends and be ranking them in a tier list. Let it be said here at the very beginning that all of the legends in this game they're all a good choice. No matter who you choose, probably gonna have fun, and there's no bad choice. It used to be that way when the game came out, but the legends are very balanced, as balanced as they have ever been. And play whoever you want to play. Whatever fits your playstyle, whoever you have the most fun with, whoever you need to play for some sort of badge or whatever. With that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start with Bangalore. Just go the way it has it. Bangalore, okay. The game came out. Bangalore, she was very middle of the road. Like right in the middle. Smack dab in the middle. She was a good choice. Not the best choice, not the worst choice, just right in the middle. How we're going to do this with all the legends, we're going to take a look at all their different abilities. So, Bangalore's ultimate. It's good. It's really not great, though. It's just not a version of Gibby's that's not near as good. All those missiles come down, and then they stay there for a while, and everyone has a chance to get out of them. Unless they're in a really bad position already. So it's not really that good. It's okay. Her tactical is, I'd say, the main thing going for her. Smoke bombs or smoke grenades. She can shoot smoke grenades out of this gun of hers, and it's pretty good. Enemies can't see what they're doing. They're blinded by it, which is great, but your teammates are too. That's the drawback with Bangalore, and so are you. So unless all you guys have digital threats, you can't. You're disadvantaged just as much as they are. Now, in order for it to be good, you have to strategically use it, and that's how it's good. So, it's an okay tactical. And her passive, I'd say her passive is the best out of everything she has to offer. She runs 30, I believe it's 30% faster, which, again, I believe is the same as Octane Stim, except she doesn't lose any health, and it's when you really need it, when you're being shot at. That's a really good passive. That's a good passive right there. And all this combined, I'd say when the game came out, she'd be a B tier, maybe even a pretty low A, but I'd say as of now, she's a C tier. Bloodhound. Bloodhound is a legend who, until recently, has got nothing but buff after buff after buff after buff. It's just insane. But his tactical, the scan, is probably it's the main attraction for Bloodhound. It's really good. You can see through walls. I mean, that's useful in every situation. There's no time that's not useful. It's just amazing tactical. His ultimate is just normal him on steroids. He can, same tactical, it's better. People are outland red, which is a nice touch. You move much faster. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's much faster. And then it lasts longer the more people you knock down. It's just a really good ultimate. His passive, really good. You can track people down that have ran away from you, or you're going for kills, or whatever. That's useful. Or you can know what areas not to go in if, like, you're playing solo and your teammates die. But it's good. I'd say he goes right into A tier. And again, let be said that all of these might change by the time the final tier list is done. Like, I could see all of the stuff and think, you know, I don't think that person deserves to go there. So it could change. Caustic. Caustic is really good. His obviously his ability centered around his gas. His tactical is his main thing going for him. He throws down gas traps. It's really good for defense. Also, like trapping people in Rams's bunker. It's not really that useful in that scenario. Like, it's not very often that you come upon that scenario, but it's just really fun to do. And his ultimate, it's not that great. I mean, it's really good. I think they could have done a little bit better. Something a little bit better with that, but still pretty good. There's a gas grenade. Tactical. Or not tactical, sorry. Passive, he can see better through his own gas, and obviously don't take damage from others. Makes complete sense, and it's good tactical. Also now his teammates can see better through it too. So, I'd say all of this puts him in A tier. Crypto is a very underrated legend, in my opinion. I think he's much better than all the other tier lists have. The other tier lists, most of them have him in C tier. Some even have him in D tier. And he's just so good for a team. His drone is so useful. Him doing an EMP and then the rest of your team pushing, super useful. Being able, obviously, to just survey around and see where enemies are, that's useful. Being able to pick up your teammates' banners and respawn them with the drone. That's just amazing. It's honestly a little OP. There's no risk involved in respawning your teammates with Crypto. At least for the person respawning, or respawning their teammates. And then his passive, oh yeah, he can open doors. His drone, kind of lame, not really good. Should just be part of his tactical. But his tactical and ultimate are really good. So I'd say he goes into B tier. I'd say he goes into B tier. Gibraltar is a very good legend. He used to begin like Bloodhound. Over here he'd get buff after buff after buff after buff. He's gotten a few nerfs, like since season 5, I believe. He's still just a solid pick. Ultimate, better Bangalore ultimate, flush people out, trap people, whatever. It's very useful, it's very good. Tactical, throwdown and dome, probably the best thing going for him. Super useful for you, super useful for your team. You can fast revive in it, you can fast heal in it, and obviously it's an all the way around rampart barrier. His passive, gun shield, super useful. I find myself constantly getting mad when I fight Gibraltars and lose because they have an extra 50 HP, and I still haven't learned after my playing enough to get me to level 250. I still haven't learned to shoot at their legs. her head. But he's super good. S tier. Lifeline. Used to be A tier, B tier. Let's start off with her ultimate. This time. Ultimate, it's really not that good. Not that much to write home about. It's a care package that comes down with some good items. Purple armor sometimes, gold armor sometimes, which that's pretty good. Not super great though. It's pretty good though. Her tactical, the healing drum. It's pretty straightforward, pretty useful. After a fight, you don't need to use any heals, just use your drone. Also, if you're fighting like in a stationary position for mine cover, strafing around or whatever, you can heal while you're fighting. That's nice. And then her ultimate is, or not her ultimate, sorry, her passive, in my opinion, is really where she shines. It is so good. She can revive her teammates while staying in a fight. It's just an amazing passive. That's all there is to it. S tier. Loba. Loba. Okay, let's start out with the passive, I guess, this time. Passive, it's pretty useful. It's actually very useful. Only in early and mid game though, not really in late game. She can see gold and purple items through walls, and I think red items too. I'm not positive about that though. I think she can though, but that's pretty useful. And then her ultimate is the main thing going, or not really, but her ultimate, she can put down a black market, or this, she can throw down your staff and get items from a certain radius from it. It's pretty useful. It's fairly useful, but again, it's in another early or mid game thing. Or I guess if you're in a tight position, needing supplies, it can be used in late game too. But it's not that great because, or for, at least for late game. Her tactical is quite frankly a joke. It's not what it should be. You're sitting there waiting for it to hit the ground for however many seconds. It doesn't even go that far, and you have to wait for like a second and a half or however long once it hits the ground to pull out your gun, so you can't go right into a firefight and surprise people. I mean, you can if they don't see you, but it gives off this very noticeable blue trail from behind it, so people pretty much 100% of the time see it. And I think all these things make her our first D tier. And like I said, all the legends are a good pick. Pick whoever you want. And obviously you won't listen to me anyway. But Mirage. Mirage used to be D tier. Wasn't good. Then came on Season 5, he gets a fantastic buff. So let's start with his ultimate. Or actually, let's start with his tactical. He can send out a decoy and control where it goes. That's amazing. You can trick people, whereas he calls it bamboozle people. And that's just so useful. Especially if you know how to use it correctly and strategically, it can really shift firefights into your favor. His ultimate is just his tactical on steroids and with more confusion. It's really good, especially to get out of a situation or run away. That's really where that comes most in handy. And his passive, super good. It's a really good passive. I mean, he can revive his teammates invisibly. And you can kind of see him very close by, but that's not that big of a problem. But that's super useful. Nothing more, I don't have anything else to say about him. So I think he's going to be here, at least for now. Like I said, I might change this up a little bit at the end. Octane. Okay. Ultimate. His jump pad. Not that good. You can jump higher and then jump again a little less higher. It has pretty fast cooldown, which is nice. It's good. Or it's not that great though. Which is what every ultimate should be great. Like not overpowered, but it should be something cool. Something useful. Really useful. And that's just not what his jump has. And his passive, or his tactical, let's go with that first, is probably the main thing with Octane. It's nice, but it's really useful, being able to go 30% faster. But the thing is, it costs a little sliver, or a good sized sliver of your health. And I think it's a little bit too much. And it's just not that great, because if you think back to Bangalore, she can go the same speed without losing any health when she needs it, which is when she's being shot at. So there's a few more. You can use Octane Stim more freely, obviously, but not super great. His his passive of healing, regenerating health. It's pretty useful. It's really slow, but I mean, if it wasn't, it'd be OP. But it's not that special. I think he is another legend that goes into D tier. He is better than Loba, though. I can say that pretty certainly. Oh, Pathfinder. I used to main, or I do main Pathfinder. I have quite a bit of kills as Pathfinder. In the past, I would say without a doubt, and I still think this, that he used to be S tier and better than every other legend in the game, and I still think that old Pathfinder was. When Season 5 rolls around, they just massacre him. They hit him with a hammer over and over and over. You butcher him. So, okay, this is painful for me. Let's start with the ultimate, I guess. A zipline gun. That's really useful. It's always been useful. You can get from one place to another pretty easily. Your whole team can. And you can do it quickly. People can still shoot at you while you're on it, but it's just a bit of a counter to it. And it's super good for position. It's just a really good ultimate. His passive. Well, it used to be he could do survey beacons, but now him, Bloodhound, and Crypto can do it, or use them to reveal where the zone is. And he still does that, but his passive now is actually that his ultimate cooldown is faster. That's nice. It's good. It's not unique though at all. Like, you could do that, something like that, with every legend in the game. It feels like something that they'd add as like a consumable, like a legendary ultimate accelerant or something like that. where your ultimate cooldown is quicker. It just doesn't feel like what a passive should be. That's tactical. It's where they really butchered him. I believe he was 12 seconds for a cooldown, maybe 13. Now, and then at season 5 rolls around, 35 seconds. 35 seconds. That's over half a minute, which I'm sure you were aware, but. And then recently, they've changed it to where it's a variable cooldown. So if you don't go quite as far, it's not as long of a cooldown. And I got really excited when I read that in the patch notes. That's a really great concept. I like it. It's a good idea. But I think they execute it very poorly. Most of the time it's still 35 seconds or just a little bit less. I think they made it so for it to be less, it has to be like a pop and a skip of distance for it to be any less of a cooldown. I think he deserves more than that. I hope that they'll change up his tactical more to make it better. But it's tactical itself, the grapple. Fantastic. It's amazing. I'd say best tactical. Maybe not the best tactical, but it's a really, really good tactical. And it makes him maybe not the most mobile anymore. Octane might have took that crown, but makes him incredibly mobile and a very good legend. I can't put him in S tier with a straight face anymore, though. I can't put him in A tier, though. Rampart. Okay. Rampart's ultimate. The turret. It's pretty good. It's a turret. It's not really, it's very self-explanatory. You can have 3 of them. It's useful. It's good. Not fantastic. It's good though. Her tactical. She can put down those barrier things. You can shoot through them from the inside. Bullets deal more damage. That's cool. That's useful. Good. Good tactical. Passive. It's good. Or it's okay. It's good. It's okay. It's good. But I don't like it. Not that like it makes me not want to play Rampart or makes her any less good. I don't like it because I don't think it's good for the game, for the health of the game. Because it incentivizes you to use an LMG over other types of guns. So that constricts your freedom of what gun you want to use. You've always had this choice of many different legends, which the roster has grown to play with, and many different guns to use. But with Rampart, you're incentivized to use an LMG. That's probably what you're going to use. It's going to get repetitive, and it's just going to feel the same every time you're playing Rampart. But how good she is, I would say, I'd say C tier. Now, Revenant is extremely underrated. He is so good. I'm not a Revenant main. I only have like 100-ish kills with him. But he is so good to have on a team. Let's start with his ultimate, because hello, he can put down a death totem and go attack people. And if he fails, he doesn't go down to the ground and lie there half dead. He goes back to the totem, and that's what his team does too. He goes back to the totem. And to be fair, when he uses it, he has a little less health, so he's much more likely to lose the fights than he would be. But that's just so good. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Spectacular. I can't think of any more positive adjectives. I'd say it's the best ultimate in the game, if I'm being frank here. It's so good. His tactical, it's pretty straightforward. Cancels other people's abilities. That's really useful. Gibby can't protect their team. Lifeline can't res while staying in the fight. Pathfinder can't grapple away like a coward. It's a really good tactical. Passive, the climbing higher and faster, it's good. It's not fantastic. It's probably to balance out his amazing other abilities, but it's useful. There's like places like in artillery, you can climb up that wall from a spot that you can't with other legends, so he's a little more mobile. And also he crouches faster, which if we're being honest, that's not really useful. Like, it's a tiny bit useful. But he's S tier, in my opinion. He's just an amazing legend. Wattson is caustic, but marginally better, I would say. Her tactical, she can put down electric fences via these nodes, completely block areas off, really useful. You can only get around with grenades, which, oh, look at this, she has an ultimate, which, you put it down, it destroys grenades, so you got yourself a little safe haven there, and nobody can go in. If there's no windows, which is just amazing. If you're on a fortified position, you get a Wattson or a Caustic, but I'd say Watson's a little bit better. Oh, and their passive, ultimate, two ultimate accelerators in their inventory. A lot of people don't think that's super useful, but I personally do. I never carry ultimate accelerators with me with any other legend, but it's useful. Because her ultimate accelerates fully charge her ultimate, which is really nice, and she can also carry them not for herself but for her teammates, since she can carry two in one slot. So that's a good passive. I'd say she is also S tier. Wraith is who you all came here to see where I placed, or 30% of you, because last time I checked, that's what percent of the player base plays, where it's who 30% of the player base plays. Her ultimate used to be her main attraction, I'd say. I don't think it quite is anymore, but she can make a portal from one place to another. That's super useful. You can get somewhere safely once you make it, and most importantly, your teammates can go through it safely. It's a really good ultimate. Her tactical, which I'd say is the best part about her, she can not take any damage and run faster. That's so good. And combined with her ultimate, she can make a portal from point A to point B with no risk because of her tactical. It's just, and her team can go through it too. Also, don't risk. It's just amazing. And then her passive. It's nothing huge, but it's a good passive. I like it. She can, a little voice in her head tells her that when there's people aiming at her, which is especially useful to be aware of people sniping you, so you can get behind cover and go to safety. And if people actually watch this, might get a lot of hate for this, but I don't think she's quite S tier. I think she's a mind you, very high A tier. But I don't want a third of my list being an S tier, because what kind of tier list is that? So I'm putting her an A tier, high A tier. I'd say she's definitely better than these people. She's pretty similar to Bloodhound though, very similar. And how good they are, in my opinion. Now let's look through this and see if everyone in the tier above is better than everyone in the tier below. Let's see, Bangalore, is she better than Loba and Octane? Pretty similar to Octane, but I'd say she's a little better. So yes. Rampart, same thing as Bangalore, yeah. Is Crypto better than these two? A lot of people disagree. I'd certainly say so. He's really good. Mirage, yes, he is better than them. Is Bloodhound better than these guys? I would say that Crypto's pretty high B tier. I'd say he's close to A tier. If there weren't already 4 people in here, he'd be A tier. But he's not quite as good as Bloodhound. Bloodhound's better than Mirage. Caustic, I'd say, is better than these guys. Pathfinder is marginally better than Crypto. And honestly, if I was a Pathfinder main, Pathfinder would probably be in B tier. But I'm not gonna be the one to tell Pathfinder that after the devs tore him apart and fed him to the dogs. And Wraith, yeah, she's better than these guys. Gibby, marginally better than Bloodhound Wraith, I'd say. In my opinion, I'd say he's the lowest S tier. Maybe not. I take that back, I'm not sure. But he is S tier. Lifeline, her passive is just so good. Yeah, she's better than these people. Revenant, like I said, super underrated. His ultimate, it's amazing. Makes him better than these guys. Or all of these guys, I guess. And Watson, she's marginally better than like Lexa, Costin, not Caustic, or not. I said I can't speak. She's marginally better than Caustic, Bloodhound, Wraith, but I'd say she's S tier. I guess that's the end of the tier list. So, you know the deal. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you disliked it, which I hope you didn't, but I guess you can hit the dislike button. That would be rather lame, and I would be severely offended. But, I mean, it's always there. And if you really liked it, and you like my other stuff, or you can hit the subscribe button. And if you really, really like it, you like my other stuff, you can hit the notification button and be notified when I upload, which is probably going to be semi-weekly. Probably no more than, yeah, just semi-weekly. I'm probably going to upload at least once a week. And if you have any comments, comment below. And that's about it. I hope to see you on my next video.